Welcome back to Kitchen Chronicles. I, Kung Fu Steve, your humble host, am going to show you a recipe today that is simple yet delicious, cost effective, and will amaze guests if you make it for them. This is going to be a simple pan-seared chicken breast with a roasted garlic pan sauce. May sound fancy, I promise this is absolutely simple, delicious, and completely approachable for seasoned veteran cooks or people who are new to it. So, we're going to start out with our chicken breast. I have here a skin-on airline breast. Airline is just a fancy way of saying it still has the wing attached to it. So we're going to season with salt and pepper. I like fresh cracked pepper. Now I have here a hot skillet. I'm using a high carbon steel. You can use stainless steel, you can use cast iron, whatever you prefer. Something that is going to get really hot. A little oil goes in. Get that around the pan. Make sure it's nice and hot. And then we carefully lay in our chicken breast skin side down away from us. Why do we lay it away from us? So that any potential grease splatter will go on the stove and not on you. Now be sure to season that other side. Salt and pepper. Now as you could hear, as soon as I laid that chicken breast down, you could hear the sizzling. This is important for getting a good sear on any piece of meat. Your pan has to be hot. So because I'm doing a skin-on breast, I want to get that skin nice and crispy. So what I'm not going to do is move it right after I lay it into the hot pan. You want to leave it alone and allow that crust to develop. And this is probably going to take a good, I'd say 3 or 4 minutes. So I'll check back in a few. Okay, here we are. It's been a few minutes and let's check how our chicken is doing. Yes. That right there is what we call in the business GBD, golden brown and delicious. Skin's got a nice crust, got some nice caramelization going right there, which equals flavor. So we're going to cut the heat, and this is going to go into the center of a preheated 425 degree oven. For this size breast, I'm going to say approximately 8 minutes or so. And we'll check back in a few. Okay, it's been about 8 minutes. Now we're going to see how our chicken's doing. It's looking good. Now we're going to check the doneness. You can use any type of thermometer that you like. Professional chefs and cooks usually just do it kind of by touch. The level of resistance will tell us how done it is. A lot of chefs I've noticed, this is how I do it. I take this here cake tester. You can get anywhere. Insert about 4 or 5 seconds. Touch to your lower lip. Oh yeah, that's done. So then, we're just going to transfer our chicken to a plate. Get the heat on. I'm not going to bother draining out that little bit of fat. I don't think it's a big deal myself. And what I am going to do first is put in some white wine. Just an average dry white wine. That was Chardonnay. And what this is going to do is what we call deglaze all of the drippings at the bottom of the pan. What we call the font, all those little bits that are stuck at the bottom of the pan. This is going to bring them up and have them become a part of our sauce. So then this I'm going to let reduce down by about half. Should only take a moment or two. So as we reduce down the wine, we are cooking off the alcohol and we're left with just the flavor of the wine. Okay. It's looking pretty good. And then at this point I'm going to add our chicken stock. And you can tell that's real stock made from bones by the viscosity of it. I always encourage people to make their own stock at home. When you go to do a recipe like this that calls for chicken, I highly recommend getting a whole chicken and just cutting it up yourself. It is not that difficult. It is highly cost effective. And you have the bones to make your own stock. It's no more complicated than boiling water. Even I can do it. All right, so now the stock is in. We're gonna let that reduce down once again by about a third to half. And same thing, as the water vapor evaporates, the flavor is concentrated. Two things that happen in every reduction: evaporation and concentration. Alrighty. And now we're ready for the star of the show. I have right here some roasted garlic puree. Now, if you're curious where you can get this or how to, more importantly, how to make it, check out my first video. There'll be a link below, and you can see how to make this yourself. Stir that in, and you can see as that gets incorporated into our sauce, it's getting thicker, it's developing a lot more body. And that is looking very nice. Add just a touch of salt, no pepper. Turn down the heat just a touch, that's pretty high. And now we're going to add a little more richness. And we're going to throw in some butter and a decent amount of it. Stir to incorporate. Make sure that butter is all melted and fully incorporated into your sauce. That is looking pretty good right there. The last little finishing touch, we need something just to kind of brighten it up, just to pull it all together. And just a little bit of lemon juice is going to do exactly that. Check the seasoning. think we're there. So I'm gonna turn this off. And I'm just gonna show you real quick. Any of those juices from the chicken, just put right back in that sauce. It's only gonna make it better. Remember, as you're handling this skillet, it is still very, very hot. It can give you a very bad day if you touch it with your bare hand. So, chicken right here. We got that beautiful golden brown, crispy skin right there. So I'm not gonna pour the sauce over it. This is gonna be what we call in the business an under sauce. Just spoon it onto the plate. And we don't lose that beautiful texture that we took the time and the love to develop. Just like this. And that right there, a simple, very approachable dish anybody can do that is absolutely delicious. And this is restaurant quality food right here. This is Kung Fu Steve with Kitchen Chronicles. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again on Kitchen Chronicles.